Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Dork Publishing, expanding minds through fantasy since 2018. Learn more at the Dork Publishing website, www.dorcpublishing.com.
I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and today we have a special guest for you. And I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Julian Illescas. Hello there, sir.
Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for having me.
Such a pleasure. Welcome.
Absolutely. Good to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I've been seeing all the media footage of your new film, so I've been dying to meet you, literally.
Thank you for having me.
You have such great talent in the movie.
Absolutely.
And a few of them have been on the show.
Oh, okay, good, yes.
So that's really exciting. So, Julian, first, thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And I've never met you. I hadn't started seeing your name until I started seeing about the movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How long have you been in Arizona?
We purchased a house here in Anthem in 2004.
Okay.
We rented it for a few years and then finally made the move in 2009.
Okay, so you've been here for a while.
Correct.
So how long have you been in the film industry here in Arizona?
This is my first rodeo.
Oh.
Although I have been writing for a while, and when I lived in LA, I wrote for theater.
Oh.
A few little things. I went to take some classes over at the UCLA Writers Program.
Okay.
And so I was always involved in some sort of, storytelling or writing.
Okay.
I have been a commercial photographer now for a while.
Okay.
So in case you guys want to see some of my work, it's, my Instagram is Love That Portrait.
Okay.
And a lot of it actually, Sicarias actually started as a sort of photographic essay.
Oh. Okay.
And that I had been thinking about this script and I had thought about it for a while. I had researched it for many years. And then I had this idea of creating, different photographs that would represent certain scenes.
For those that don't know what Sicarias mean, could you
Okay.
explain what that meant?
It's an ancient term, mostly Middle Eastern in origin, that means assassin. I think the base of the word is sika, which meant curved blade. A lot of these were supposed to be assassins using curved blades.
Oh.
But it's basically, in modern times, refers to a person within a certain organization, like, the cartels,
Mm-hmm.
whose sole and primary function within that organization is to assassinate targeted people.
Mm. So where did this ideas come from?
I lived in Latin America for a while. I was born in Guatemala.
Oh.
And then I went to work for the State Department for a while. I had a contract with the United States Information Agency and the United States Information Service. These are organizations within our government that they don't usually advertise within the continental U.S. because by law they're not allowed to. But their primary function is to promote and help promote U.S. Foreign policy abroad. And they usually have offices within embassies, and so I had a contract with them for 3 years.
Wow.
And a lot of the time when I was
Don't be
working...
telling me no secret information.
No.
I don't want any Sicarias coming after me now.
All of this is well-known information, but I ended up talking to a lot of people about this, and back in the mid-'90s when I was working down there, a lot of stuff was going on with Pablo Escobar and stuff.
Okay.
And so some of it I researched, some of it I talked to some of the people that were involved in the war on drugs, and some of it I, dramatized and wrote up. Yep.
Of course. So is this something that came strictly from Julian, this idea?
Well, in Latin America, most people, I kept seeing movies like, Taylor Sheridan's Sicario. He's a great writer, great filmmaker. And I saw movies like Point of No Return with Bridget Fonda, right? or Colombiana, which is always
Yeah.
Aldana. And every time I watch
That's one
them,
of my favorite ones right there.
yeah, she's great. She's great. One of the things that struck me about these movies was I always thought, it's like most people who know about this stuff know that the best assassins are not men; they're women.
Mm.
And in their craft, proximity breeds opportunity, and nobody could get closer to target than most women could. Either because they can be babysitters, they can be hotel maidens, they can be call girls, they can be school teachers. There's like a lot of things that they have access to that guys don't. And men, especially in Latin America, would always be seen with a certain amount of trepidation. Whereas girls, because of the culture, is like, she's just a girl.
Right.
Yeah. And so
they just see us as just a girl.
Just a girl.
Right.
Like, yeah. But
right.
In Netflix, I think it was Narcos, there's a scene in it where they kind of touched on this, where there is this one cartel that's trying to block all the roads over to their hacienda, and these two girls roll up on a scooter, and some henchmen stop them. And like, hey, baby, what are you doing? She's like, oh, we want to go, get through here. And they're like, no, you can't because the road is closed. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, sorry. So she turns around and says, okay, bye. And then she mows them down because of how close they got to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought about that. I was like, you know what? This is actually really the way it is. Women.
That's more realistic.
That's more realistic. And so I figured, I think women have been robbed of so many things. Yeah. And I thought,
but that's what this is about. It's about storytelling and putting truthful stories out
absolutely.
there also. So I love what you're doing here. That is amazing. And what I've seen is some of the photography work that you're putting out, which has been amazing. Is that your photography?
Most of it is. I partner with a good friend of mine, Colby Files. So he's helped me with some of it. He has a long track record as a beauty, and he worked for Vogue magazine for a while, and so I asked him to help me with some of it.
Right.
But most of it has been me. So it's like you can see his is more beautified, mine is a bit more gritty. But we both have been working on it. We also got the opportunity to get somebody on the Berber production people. His name is Ignacio Fimbres, and he's a really good guy. And he took a lot of the BTS, and so he allowed us to have some of his photographs so that we could put them in there. So it's really between Ignacio, Colby, and myself.
Okay. So the film that you're creating now, is it a short right now?
It was created as a short meant to promote the idea so that maybe we can get funded for the larger projects. Yes.
Okay. So your plan for it is to become a larger project.
My ultimate dream would be to have the full feature leave a few unanswered questions that would be answered in the series.
I like that. So the plan is for it to become a series.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Those, you mentioned Colombia. One of my other favorites is was it Scarlet? The one with Jennifer Garner was the assassin in it. That was another one of my favorites. Red something. I can't remember the name of it. But she plays an assassin actually in a couple of them. And I agree with everything that you were saying is that they would utilize her because she had her sex appeal. And they used her sex appeal in a lot of the cases. So I totally agree with what you're saying as the female having all those other options of getting closer.
Yeah, especially so Colombia, for example, most people don't know this, but a civil war began in their country back in 1956, I think, and it's still going on. So this is the largest armed conflict in Latin America, and it has seen so many pieces of it, be surrounded by the drug trade that happened in it. In the 90s, when the Soviet Union collapsed, a lot of those guys that were fighting in the mountains, they found themselves without a pope. Somebody to promote or give them money for bullets or whatever. And the drug cartels actually stepped in and said, hey, we'll give you some money, we'll give you some guns. Can you help us by guarding our drug labs and stuff like that. And that actually necessitated other countries to get involved and help the Colombian government fight these people, because now they were fighting against battle-tested, very rough individuals. So there's a lot of good stories that have come out of that place.
Where would you like to see Sicaria? Where would you like to see this go?
I would love to have it created as a full feature, as a series, and for people to understand that this is not a romantic, film with some bullets in it. Mm-hmm. It's not. Mm-hmm. I aim to show what it is that it actually looks like. I have this idea, this crazy idea that if you show people real things, they will actually latch on to them.
Well, exactly the way you just explained it to me is the perfect explanation for it. So, Julian, we were talking about Colombia and things that are happening over there in your film, your amazing film. Do you think, is this the film that you think Colombia would welcome?
Colombians, the people themselves are amazing people. And I think a lot of them sort of resent the fact that whenever people talk about Colombia, they're always talking about the drug trade and things of that nature. Because I've met so many of them, they're so hardworking and they love their family just like you and I do.
But we're all that way. When someone looks at where we're from and go, "Oh, Arizona's this way," or right. I mean, we get in our feelings when it comes to that because we know there's a lot of good people here,
absolutely,
and good things happening here. So I sympathize for them. I know that they feel that way. If that's all other people see is the drug stuff, they don't see all the goodness that's happening in Colombia. Because there's goodness happening everywhere.
Oh my goodness, yes. Thank God.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. And you know what? I would hope that maybe some of them would see this as someone showcasing what's really going on and what's happening as a way of trying to correct things.
It's a period it's a period piece. It takes place somewhere in the mid 90s to early 2000s. So a lot of years have gone by already about this, but like I said, my aim in doing the film and the story was to show that these are real people fighting this war.
Right.
A lot of them get caught in it, not really looking to go there.
Right.
And once they're in it, now they're in it to survive it.
Right.
And a lot of them being women, a lot of the films that I saw regarding assassins were like, oh, your family got killed and now you're out for revenge. And I didn't see it like that. I'm sure there is some of that.
But those are the stories that we see because it's people that have never lived there or experienced that life. They're just writing what they think.
Absolutely. And when you talk to some of these people that have been in it, their idea is like, look, if I had to take revenge for everything that has happened to me, I would need 10 lifetimes for that. Right. So I'm not in it for revenge. I just want to survive it now. And my life chose me. I didn't choose my life.
Right. I like that. So you brought some media for us today.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at what Mr. Julian has created here.
Shouldn't we stay alert? He might be here any minute.
No. We will know when he gets here. The crowd will cheer for their king. Kiss his ass. We will wait. Let him settle into his seat so he feels safe. Then we'll take them both out.
Copy. Weather looks good. Relative humidity is low. No wind. Looks like the gods really want him gone.
Well, among others who definitely want him gone. Try and relax, babe. Save your energy. We may need it for later. Oh, and remember, we will mix in the crowd and the chaos and rush towards the stadium gate. Then head to East Street, then to the West Wall.
That's him. Confirmed, eyes on target.
Actual. This is Ripper 1. Target package is confirmed. I've got eyes on 2 targets.
2 targets, both 781 yards out. Low-level breeze from left to right.
I see it. Compensating.
I see 6 bodyguards, all wearing Kevlar. 6 more are blocking the entrance to his box seats, all carrying AKs with foldable stocks. One of his bodyguards is bringing them drinks. Hold on. Looks like he will stand and speak to the crowd.
Of course he would. Come to me, lover. I've got something fast for you as well. Ripper 1 to actual. Target package confirmed. Going loud inside 1 minute. Kika. Here we go. Do you know what to do? We are gonna make it. Target 1, 782 yards. Target 2, 779 yards. Confirm.
Confirmed.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And it's something that needs to be shown.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, we've poured our heart and soul into it. You know, filmmaking is not for the faint of heart.
That is for sure. That is for sure. So, you know, as actors, we have to take ourselves there. How was it, you know, you have actors that have never experienced that. And as actors, we get into things that we've never experienced, but you have to be able to take yourself there. Was there any coaching or things that you had to do with your actors for this?
Yes, I would actually talk to them weeks even before they started shooting, and I would tell them the backstory to the scene that we're going to be doing.
Oh.
And many times, some of my actresses were actually in tears.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "My God, this for real?" I'm like,
Right.
"Yeah, girl, you know, you're out there, you know, bringing a voice to these people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what happened."
Right.
And you know, I like to say that there's a very specific scene in our film where this girl has to relate how she came into becoming a Sicaria, and how her family up in the mountains was decimated, and she was the only one who survived.
Mm.
And she tells the story. And when I talk to her, you know, she's a great actress by the name of Sasha Knopf. She's LA based.
Oh.
And I told her, I said, look, you know, people have recorded these massacres and they come and they go, but I've never forgotten them. I've read them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and now you're giving them voice.
Right.
And so that's the sort of coaching that I did with them. I needed them to understand.
Right.
And when I was doing the photographs for this way before the film began, I would actually, right before they took their poses and whatever, I would tell them the story as well. So I have some experience coaching people that way.
Well, you know what? This is serious stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't portray a mother who just lost her child if you're not feeling that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or someone who's, like you said, someone's family that's been massacred, but you're not feeling it. So it's not going to come across in the eyes or in that emotion. The audience isn't going to see that.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we went through a fairly rigorous process in casting, because it wasn't just the look, but the person. Can you actually relate to it, and
Right.
what are your experiences about this? And
Right.
so we got super lucky. We got really lucky with the people.
You guys have stunt scenes too, don't you?
We do.
Right.
We have Eddie Cardenas, who was in the Mayans, and he's been in a few films. He does some stunts. Our main girl, Valena, who's played by Aisha Lynn Pitts, she does some of her own stunts.
Okay.
We have a fighting sequence of our girls fighting these guys under a bridge, too. And that one was directed by Jasmine Berber. She was our stunt coordinator.
Well, I tell you, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, thank you.
I truly can't wait to see it. So where can our audience find out more about Sicarias? Or even, you know, do you have a page a Facebook page where they can read up on it?
There is a page, a Facebook page. It's called Sicarias.
Okay.
It's on Facebook. We post a lot of BTS and things of that nature.
Okay.
You can also find them on my Instagram, which is Love That Portrait,
Okay.
and also the website for Berber Productions, who is, they're my partners on this, along with Bernie Taryn.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that's an interesting story. This is one of those trilogies. It's on the Netflix. You're gonna sit there with that popcorn. You're gonna be watching it. That's the way Kathy does it. I'm tattling on myself here. But we support you here at Desertwood Days,
Oh, thank you so
and
much.
we cannot wait to see what's next for Sicarias.
Absolutely, thank you.
It's such a pleasure. And we thank you for joining us here on Desertwood Days, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze was sponsored by Dork Publishing. Visit them at dorkpublishing.com.